Before Fast and Furious made them icons, before the global car scene exploded, it was Japan, the 90s. This was the era of passion, performance, and precision. This was the golden era of JDM. Back then, the Japanese automakers were not just building cars, they were crafting legends. Turbocharged beasts, lightweight corner carvers, machines that felt alive in your hands. But what made them so special? Why do we still dream about Supras, Skylines, and RX-7s decades later? What was the secret? This is the story behind the 90s JDM cars we still obsess over. If we want to understand the magic of 90s JDM cars, we have to go back to the late 1980s. Back then, the economy of Japan was booming, money was flowing, innovation was thriving, and car manufacturers had the budget to dream big. Toyota, Nissan, Mazda, Honda, Subaru, Mitsubishi, all locked in fierce competition, pushing the limits of what their machines could do. But here's the twist. In Japan, there was an unspoken rule, the gentleman's agreement. No car would officially produce more than 276 horsepower, on paper at least. So instead of chasing raw numbers, they chased brilliance. They focused on balance, handling, weight distribution, turbocharging, aerodynamics, precision. And outside the factories, a culture was rising. Street racers ruled the Wangdong Highway at midnight. Drifters carved through mountain passes, the legendary tow roads, and modding garages were turning ordinary cars into mechanical masterpieces. It was not just a car scene, it was a revolution. Let's talk about icons. These were not just cars, they were legends, machines that defined a generation and rewrote the rules of performance. The Supra MK4, or the A80, was a monster wrapped in elegance. Under the hood, the now legendary 2JZ GTE, a twin-turbo inline 6 so strong, it was basically overbuilt from the start, officially capped at 276 horsepower, but tuners around the world quickly discovered its real potential. With the right mods, it could easily break 1,000 horsepower. 2JZ GTE twin turbo on paper equals 276 horsepower, but in reality it was 1,000 plus horsepower and without breaking a sweat. And then came Fast and Furious. Suddenly the Supra was not just a performance car, it became a global icon. Thanks to Paul Walker. Next, the GTR. It is nicknamed Godzilla for a reason. It's devour the competition. The R32, the GTR, was a game changer. With its Atessa all-wheel drive system and super high-cast four-wheel steering, it gripped the road like nothing else. The R33 refined it, and the R34? That was a dream. With a sharper design, improved handling, and a tech-packed dashboard, it became the car for gamers, thanks to Gran Turismo. The Mazda RX-7 was different. Especially the third-generation FD3S. It did not follow the rules, it rewrote them. It was light, balanced, a 50-50 weight distribution, gave it almost telepathic handling. The 13B REW, its rotary engine, was tiny and high revving, but it was unlike anything else on the road. Some loved it, some feared it, but no one forgot it. And the design? Low slug, sculpted curves that look more like art than engineering. While others chased brute force, Honda built a masterpiece, the NSX. It was co-developed with F1 legendary Ayrton Senna, the Honda's answer to Ferrari. Instead of being temperamental, it was refined. It had a mid-engine layout, all aluminum construction, and a naturally aspirated V6 that loved to scream. It proved that you could have supercar performance without sacrificing reliability or daily drivability. It was not just a car, it was a philosophy on wheels. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution was a rally weapon, stripped of fluff, built for war. The Evo was designed to dominate tight corners and rough terrain. And the turbocharged engine and rally-bred all-wheel drive made sure that it does. The 4, 5, and 6 models were sharp, raw, and responsive. They did not pamper you, they challenged you. Every shift felt like pulling a trigger. Every corner felt like a battle won. The Evo 5 now had flared wheel arches, wider front and rear tracks, bigger 17-inch wheels and tires, upgraded suspension geometry, and an adjustable rear wing. The 4G63T engine made 276 horsepower, but it also stretched beyond 300 horsepower off the record. Evo 6 had a better front bumper and let more air through. Under difficult testing conditions, it went to 60 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds and knocked off the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 102 miles per hour. Then came the Subaru WRX. It was originally created for the World Rally Championship in 1992. Then the extended WRX STI version was introduced in 1994. It offered brutal grip and a unique low center of gravity feel. With its distinctive boxer engine and symmetrical all-wheel drive, it carried the spirit of Subaru's rally legacy. Aggressive, agile, and loud in all the right ways. It was not just about speed, it was about the soul. So, you see, these were not just machines, they were characters, each with a story, a fan base, and a legacy. They did not just define a generation of cars, they defined us. JDM cars of the 90s were not just fast, they were engineered with soul. This was an era where pride came before profit. Manufacturers poured their best minds into building cars that did not just compete, they inspired. Aluminum and composite materials were used to keep their weight down. Chassis tuning was borderline obsessive, and under the hood, things got even more interesting. Honda gave us VTEC, the variable valve timing. This changed how engines breathed and how drivers felt. Then Toyota brought VVTi. Precise, efficient, and responsive. Then Mazda's RX-7 used sequential twin turbos, one to spool early and one to kick harder at high RPMs. It was advanced, risky, brilliant. The NSX-R, it had active aerodynamics. It was way ahead of its time. And the gearbox's manual transmission that clicked, clunked, and communicated, every shift felt raw, mechanical, and real. And once these cars hit the streets, tuning scene exploded. ECU remap, bolt-on turbos, wide-body kits. What started in garages and alleyways would eventually become a billion-dollar industry. Then came the wave, the moment JDM went global. It started in pixels. Games like Gran Turismo. Kids across the world raced Skylines and Evos from their bedrooms, long before they ever saw one in real life. Then came Initial D, an anime about street racing that made mountain passes and drift battles legendary. Suddenly the world was obsessed with tofu deliveries and rear-wheel drives. In the West, a new culture was forming, the import tuner scene. Cars that once flew under the radar were now center stage. There was a catch. Many of these cars were not even street legal in the US. The 25-year import rule made them forbidden fruit, and that only made the obsession stronger. Then, in 2001, the Fast and Furious changed everything. Orange Supra, Wheelie's family. JDM was not just a niche anymore. It was mainstream. Aftermarket shops exploded. Tuning garages became temples. Street racing, car meets, drifting. It was more than a trend, it was a movement. The world had fallen in love with JDM. These cars were more than performance specs, they were personalities. JDM built was not just about speed, it was about style, the stance, the spoiler, the sound. Every mod told a story, every scratch had meaning. It was about identity. Your car was a mirror of you. They were the underdogs too, taking on Ferraris and Porsches with a fraction of the budget and all the heart. And sometimes winning. The scene thrived in garages and back streets. DIY tuning was the badge of honor. Street cred was not bought, it was earned. Online forums lit up with engine swaps, turbo builds, and tuning tips. And the mantra was clear: built, not bought. The culture was about balance, craftsmanship, respect for detail. From late-night togue runs in the mountains to high-speed battles on Tokyo's Mongdon Highway, this was a community, a movement, a brotherhood. But the question remains, why are we still in love? Because for many, it started with a poster, a childhood dream, a save file from Gran Turismo. These cars were simple but emotional. No traction control, no digital safety nets, just you, the engine, in the road. There was a mechanical honesty to it all. You felt the clutch bite. You heard every click of the shift. It was not just about horsepower. It was about connection. Today, they are rare. Prices have surged. What once was a $10,000 street car is now a six-figure collector's gem. New cars might be faster, but are they alive? The 90s JDM era was the last analog heartbeat before the digital wave. That is why we can't let go. It was not just about driving. It was about feeling, about being part of something real. A love letter to an era that may never return. They were not just cars. They were dreams, forged in steel, powered by turbo, driven with heart. That's the real secret behind the JDM legends of the 90s. So which one was your dream car growing up? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss another video.